Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. We are currently less than 24 hours out from this weekend's Arnold Classic UK, and even though it has been kind of a disaster for the production team, it is still going to be a great show. So you guys are currently looking at Andrew Jack, and by the look at his face, I would definitely say he's probably going to be more conditioned than what he was in Texas. Now, if you guys remember leading into this show, everyone was wondering, was Andrew going to be able to get a visa? And a lot of people were wondering, he's already qualified for the Olympia. Is he just going to pull out of this show? But Andrew is in the UK and he is coming for this Arnold Classic title. Now, it's crazy to think that this is only his second show as a pro, and pretty much everyone has him as the favorite. After this show, I think we'll get a great idea of how Andrew is going to stack up at this year's Mr. Olympia, and I think he's going to shock some people. So on the left is an update of Martin Fitzwater. This was at 2 weeks out from the Arnold Classic UK. And on the right was an update of James Hollingshead today. A 2-for-1. So Martin Fitzwater actually said he suffered a quad injury prior to the Texas Pro, which was why his leg seems to be holding a little bit of water. So going into this Arnold Classic UK, he said he's definitely going to be better. And I feel very confident in my pick to have Martin in second place. And also Nick Walker and Guy's sister Nino have seen some pictures we haven't seen of Martin Fitzwater. They talked about that on Full Out IBI's bro chat. And I really do trust Nick Walker's eye. And on the right, we have James Hollingshead at 1 day out from this show. A lot of people are saying that James doesn't look as conditioned as he usually does. I wouldn't say that James looks off by any means. He does look conditioned. But I believe James is just experimenting once again, trying to find the perfect balance of fullness and conditioning. I honestly think that James will have a great showing at this show. I do believe that he will look better than he looked at last year's Olympia. But will that be enough to overcome Martin Fitzwater, Mark Hector, Andrew Jack? Now, also in the news today, courtesy of Buys and Tries over on Instagram, Peter Molnar as well as Jose Berry, also known as Madelman, neither of those guys made weight for the Arnold Classic UK in the Classic Physique division. So both of these guys actually decided to move up to 212. Now, Jose Berry, I actually believe he can do great in this division if he's able to fill out enough of this show. You guys have heard me mention before, I honestly think he probably belongs in the 212 division. And Madelman actually said he passed out 3 times within 30 minutes of trying to make weight. I'm not sure exactly what he was doing, but a lot of people say open is more healthy than classic. They say classic is a much safer route. But these guys have to do some crazy things to make weight. Some of them, sometimes they're completely dry, have no more fat on the body, and are still trying to pull fat and water just to make weight. And a lot of people say, these guys are professionals. Why don't they make weight? Well, probably because the Classic Physique division feels like they have to height you in at every single show, because apparently you're a different height at every single show. But hopefully both of these guys still do well in the 212 division. And there was also another guy named Cuba Sistel. He was supposed to compete in Classic, but he also didn't make weight, and he decided to move up to the open division. And switching over to Michael Daboul, who actually did make weight, Michael looks absolutely incredible 1 day out from this show. Martin Fitzwater said he's seen this in person and trust him, it is game over. Have we ever seen this conditioning from any other current competitor? Is this more conditioned than Heidi Chupin? But going into this show, Michael has to be the favorite. He is the champion from last year. Peter Molnar and Madelman were supposed to be in Classic. And those two guys plus Michael Daboul were probably going to be the favorites to round out their top 3. But with those two moving up, that does open up a little bit more space for a guy like Wesley Vissers. Wesley is extremely conditioned. And I know we don't really talk about him too much here. Wesley has a huge following, but doesn't seem to get the best placings. And I always feel like Wesley has a physique that looks like it's straight out of the 70s with more conditioning. And I think this is a good example of how Classic Physique isn't meant to mimic the 70s. It's more of a Chris Bumstead lookalike contest. So Wesley, if you want to place higher, man, you have to grow out that mustache. And I think your placings will improve. That was a joke, guys. But switching over to more Arnold Classic UK news, Lee Haney did announce that he will not be at the competition and he does not want any affiliation. He did say if they continue to use his name, he will pursue legal actions. He said the promoter is very unprofessional. Now, this is coming from Lee Haney, an 8-time Mr. Olympia. No one has ever even whispered a bad word about this guy. And as we know from last year's competition, it was very unorganized. Nathan D'Asher won, Samson Dowd second. Honestly, looked like they hosted this show in a gym auditorium. But hopefully for tomorrow, we do have good lighting, good pictures. There is no live stream. Now, switching off the Arnold Classic UK and into good Vito. And Vito is looking massive right now. Now, after Andrew Jack won the Texas Pro, he was a newer guy. That was the first time we see him on stage next to pros. After seeing Andrew do well, it made me feel better about Krizzle and Vito because they are both newer guys. And I really wasn't a guy pushing hype into these guys who haven't competed against our pros yet. But the more I see of Krizzle and Vito, I do think they're going to be very good in the IFBB Pro League. And Vito is a very young guy, has a lot more time to improve. Let me know what you guys think of his physique. Now switching over to 212, this is a recent update from Oleh Kryvyi ahead of this year's Olympia. As I mentioned in my last video, one of my favorites in this division, I think he could potentially crack the top spots, top 5, top 6. And this is him from last year's Big Man Weekend Pro, which he won. Now, Oleh isn't the most aesthetic guy, but as you guys can see, very heavily muscled, comes in crazy condition, crazy vascular, guys. This guy has veins running from his forehead to his toes. But I'm excited to see Oleh at this year's 212 Olympia. It is going to be a very competitive one. Now switching over to Classic Physique, these are the most recent updates of Currey, our New York Pro winner. Now ever since the New York Pro, Neil's physique has really caught my eye. He's a very hard worker, was working with Milos Sarchev but switched over to Ben Chow. But Neil is also a great poser and comes in crazy condition. He said his goal is to crack the top 10 this year, and I think that's possible. Now switching over to women's figure, a division we don't really talk about a lot. Now this was at today's San Antonio Pro. Now this physique really caught my eye. She goes by Blanca on Instagram. I will leave her Instagram in the comment section below. Could not find her full name. But the quads on this lady is just absolutely ridiculous. She honestly looks like she has wellness legs but is competing in figure. If I have any figure experts in the comment section below, let me know, is this the look they're looking for in figure? Because she looks like she should be in, maybe women's bodybuilding with the separation in the legs, or maybe wellness from just the overall size. But I did want to share this with you guys because we don't really talk about too many women's athletes over here on the channel, and these quads are definitely worthy of a mention in today's video. Now ending this video here with the archive of the day, you guys let me know in the comment section below which legendary bodybuilder is this. As always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video. If you haven't done so already, leave your predictions for the Arnold Classic UK in the comment section below. Is it going to be a walk away from Andrew Jack? Who do you guys have in second place? If you haven't done so already, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Krishan from Go Fitness, and that's it. I'm out.